I'm nervous. I don't know what to say. What's up? Welcome to the four-man front. First time for me hosting it in a while. I'm a little nervous because I'm with the heavy hitters here. Ryan, the coach, Jessie, Naylor. The 49ers are doing things, but it's hard to say why they're doing anything. So we're going to get into the Brock Purdy situation. What's going on with him? Is there a resolution in sight or not? But first, I would like to get each of my esteemed colleagues' take on what in the world the 49ers are doing. What do they have a cohesive plan for the offseason is my question.
Grant, you know what? Last week when we did this show, I was all about what the 49ers are doing. I couldn't stop ranting and raving about how they're cutting costs and they've got a plan. And in 2026, they're going to open up the pocketbooks and this is all good. Since that time, they've made multiple head-scratching moves. One, they cut Leonard Floyd without bringing in Bosa. If you look at the timing of that, it looked like they were going to bring in Bosa. That's why they cut Leonard Floyd. Okay. They cut Malik Collins. They cut Juice and brought him back. They signed a blocking tight end to a pretty large contract. And with those cuts, it's not that they're cutting these players or signing these players, but it's the money and the years in which they're signing them. Juice, 2-year deal. New tight end, I think, is on a 2-year deal as well. You've got both Floyd and Malik Collins who were cut, but they were post-June 1st designations. So now you've already started next year with $21 million and dead cap carried over because you've cut those two along with Javon Hargrave. So to me, the plan that I ranted and raved about a week ago, it seems as if they've lost the plot a little bit in the last week. So I don't know, Grant. I would like to think they have a plan, but really when you look at it, Grant, if we look at the players, like the core players that were on this team, who did they really move on from other than Deebo Samuel, who requested a trade? That's what's got me confused. Juice, when they moved on from him, made a ton of sense. It's like, all right, they're making moves. They're cleaning out some core guys here. They know that this core group cannot win. I don't know what the plan is anymore. I feel like the plot's been lost a little bit over the last week. So
encouraging. Okay, who has who's next?
I'll go. Yeah, I feel the same way. I was very encouraged with let's just start it out first. I was encouraged with them moving on because I believed at one point that, certain players moving on would signify kind of like a domino effect of a series of events that just couldn't be avoided. That first domino for me was Deebo Samuel moving on. I believe that, accruing that type of dead cap money off of him being traded to the Washington Commanders, it was all but a foregone conclusion that they were going to start shopping around and moving on from certain players. But for fear of being redundant, the deals that Jessie just mentioned, as well as really was a head scratcher, was the Dre Greenlaw deal. Not even that, but the process behind it. I mean, finally we get what seems to be a little bit more of a truthful rendition of Kyle not making his 100-yard sprint to stop a player before he finally leaves the 49ers building. And really, when you hear stories like that, it's just kind of like more of a shaking my head moment. Like, it's a little bit pathetic where, you're coming off of a 6-win season and you're still, the word on the street is that they offered Dre Greenlaw anywhere south of $5 million a year. Reportedly, I believe that the original number was 4 that they offered Dre Greenlaw. Then they saw him and go get the deal that for essentially like $12 million guaranteed over 3 years for the Denver Broncos. And we hear reports that the Niners are all but begging Dre Greenlaw to reconsider before he inks the deal. If I'm Dre Greenlaw, I'm not mad at him. I understand. So all of a sudden you see the deal that I got out of Denver and you think that that's something that you could have swung, but you didn't have the courage of your convictions to at least give me something fair. So you saw what I got out of Denver and now you want to come back? Like, it just shows that, again, they're making mistakes and they're kind of like cutting 10 times and only measuring once. And I believe that what we saw earlier on from the 49ers, as far as what we did like from the offseason, a lot of it was them just responding from the organization kind of putting down a mandate. Doesn't look like they really have a cohesive plan, more or less, than they're trying to move on what they usually do on a regular basis, but they're just doing it with the constraints of less money, right? It doesn't seem as though that they got told that they're going to be able to use less money and then they tried to come up with a succinct plan. I just feel like, again, they're just responding. They're not really going towards a planned attack.
I think the 49ers. So one thing when we're talking about this to keep in mind is that it's reported that Deebo Samuel requested a trade. So like moving on from Deebo, was that really the Niners doing, or was that actually Deebo has been reported, right? So we got to factor that into the equation. It seems like to me the 49ers, kind of like Coach is saying, they're doing the same things they've done in the past. And what I mean by that is they're trying to call these players bluffs, and the players aren't folding for it. Instead of giving them big contracts and negotiating and trying to put on their poker face, now they're cutting guys and trying to negotiate and put on their poker face. And then at the end, they're like, "Oh no, never mind, Juice, come back. We're just kidding. And then, "Oh, come back, Giant Green. Like, we're just kidding." So like feels like the grips have been tightened on these guys to what they have the freedom of doing, but they're using the same tactics, and it's not been successful. Real quick, I put a survey on my Twitter and asked 49er fans to vote. What grade would you give the 49ers so far this offseason? A was not an option. B, C, D, or F. The majority of the people who voted F.
Yeah, I would have to give it an F too. I mean, it seems like they're just reacting to what's happening. Like, I agree. They lowball Greenlaw and then they fold and they give him whatever he wants. They cut Juszczyk and then they fold and bring him back for whatever he wants. But then it gets even weirder. Like, you cut Leonard Floyd, presumably to sign Joey Bosa, but then you don't sign Joey Bosa because you offered him like 2 or 3 or 4 million less than the Bills, and now you have no defensive end. You have your Tigros Matos. Like, you cut Malik Collins, sure, I understand, and you don't replace him. Like, what? You're just trying to get worse, or you're really going to fill multiple starting spots with rookies on a Kyle Shanahan team? I think it's fair to be like, I don't freaking get it. And I was brought on to like KTVU. They're like, Grant, please explain the offseason. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. There is no grand plan here. They just seem to be reacting to this player, that player, ownership, whatever they have to do.
I want to bring this up. I also think they're overestimating how much players want to be in Santa Clara. I think that's something that maybe they, like calling Juice calling their bluff. Greenlaw saying, "Sorry, I'm out." Like, I think they're overestimating the draw that they have. I don't think they have quite the same draw as they have in the past.
Yeah, I think, what's interesting is the way they've played free agency is pretty similar to how they played the contracts in re-signing their own players, where they're super tough in the beginning and then it's like, oh, hold on, we got a cave. But the timeline is sped up because free agency is here and they can sign at any time. So they met Dre Greenlaw with a contract that was hardball. Once he got a contract that was better, it was like, oh my gosh, no, we want you. We'll give in to whatever you want. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm out. Juice, same thing. Now we're going to give you a pay cut. We'll just go ahead and cut you. Go ahead. Oh, Steelers are interested? No. We'll meet your demands. It's the same thing every time. They always end up acquiescing.
Ayuk
last year.
Kyle.
Ayuk. Take it or leave it. We have all the leverage. You're not really a number one receiver. We don't really run our offense through you. When it came down to it, Ayuk, whatever you want, dude. Whatever you want. And we wasted all this time.
And what should Brock Purdy learn from all of this? He should
hold out.
That brings us to our next
He should
topic.
stick to his guns.
When will the Brock Purdy negotiation ultimately end? How long will this take? You guys think?
Ryan, go ahead.
If he's smart, he'll just drag it out till August, because ultimately they will fold at the last minute and giving him exactly what he wants. If I had to bet, though, I don't think he does that. I think sometime in late May, early June, they get it done.
I don't know. I think they do hold out. Right now, he's got nothing but history to kind of like strengthen his cause, in my opinion. And also, with the team right now, this isn't a situation where you could just stick Mac Jones in there and just kind of right the ship. Mac Jones is learning the offense as we start. And I don't want to hear all of this nonsense about, well, we signed Mac Jones since blah, blah, blah date, so you should be ready. You know, all of that crap is going to come up if Brock holds out. The facts are is that he's not ready, and he's not the 49ers starting quarterback. And while we don't have the 49ers starting quarterback in camp, then we're going to be essentially the same team we were last year. We're not going to get better. That's one of the reasons why I pushed back against a quarterback competition anyway. But Brock could be able to force his hand. Honestly, if I'm Brock, I hold out till they give me exactly what I want. There's no way in the world that I would capitulate. And really, all of their bad deeds precede them. You know, Trent Williams did it. Nobody blinked an eye. Nobody burned his name in effigy over the offseason when he saw that the Niners foolishly didn't do anything with the offensive line, specifically a tackle in the draft last year. He saw a hole and he abused it. I expect Brock to do the same. Now, that ain't no pause, you know what I'm saying? You see a hole, you got to abuse that thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm curious. Jeez, I'm curious to see what happens at these owner meetings, Grant. I want to see if Shanahan and York and Lynch are on the same page. I feel like you got to come up with 2 or 3 questions and ask all of them the same question and see if they line up. I want to see how in line these guys are at the owner meeting. I do think ultimately a deal gets done. I'll go May just because I feel like after the draft is done, there's really nothing else to worry about other than hammering out these deals. Brock Purdy's the priority. I think Brock does want to get it done quick. I think the 49ers say they want to get it done quick. They always say that, but they never do. I'll just go May. I mean, I have no evidence or any reason to believe that, but that's just the guess I'll go with.
If they get it done in May, I wonder if it's going to be because the Niners folded or because if it gets done in May, it sounds to me like Brock folded. Like, hey, I really wanted more, but OTAs are coming around and Mac Jones is here and I don't want him to take one freaking rep with the starters. And I don't want you to think that like I'm not a team player or a leader or a captain. I'm here, which would be kind of weak on his part. I mean, if coach is right and he has the leverage and he holds out, be interesting to see what happens. I don't think he ultimately will, but I don't think the Niners are scared if he does. That's the issue. Like, are they really scared if Brock holds out? I think to me, if they just add one good player at left guard, tell themselves, actually we have a pretty good offensive line now. How much do we really need Brock's mobility? Or would we like someone who has more of a deep game, more of a long game? Because if you have a good offensive line, a great running back, a great play action game, mobility isn't as important in this system. That's why that's why Matt Ryan had success in it. So I'm just curious. Like, I could see the 49ers saying, if you hold out, like, good. We want to see Mac Jones with the starters anyway. You just made it easy for us. You're going to save us money. And we're not scared of this at all. We just won 6 games with you last year. You're not like our magic's a key to success. So I don't think the Niners I want to say, I don't think they should fold if he holds out. But this is the Niners, man. They just folded to use check. So I don't know. They could fold a Purdy too, but the fact that they have Mac Jones here and we know Kyle Shanahan loves Mac Jones makes it interesting.
In what world do the 49ers, meaning Jed and the organization, stop giving Kyle bail? Because really what this is that if Brock holds out and we do have to go with the Mac Jones show, the only thing that's going to piss me off more is not Mac Jones, but the fact that Kyle has another scapegoat. So are we really going to assess Kyle Shanahan for whatever he does with Mac Jones? Because I can hear it now. If Brock holds out, we got to go through a camp with Mac. And possibly if Brock comes in probably like 11th hour, like, some of the guys they did last season, a lot of people are going to be saying throughout the whole season, well, what do you expect Kyle to do? He just got his quarterback here. Brock has barely had an offseason. I mean, there's a lot to do with that right now. Can you really blame it all on Kyle? So is there a world where Brock holds out so much that Kyle is kind of like absolved from this? Is supposed to be the main thing. The main thing is, Kyle, you got to coach your way out of this, right? Are we going to shift the narrative a little bit if Kyle gets a contentious contract negotiation?
Can I say real quick, Grant? Like, I think what you laid out is what the Niners should do, because I don't think Brock Purdy has any leverage at all, really, if the 49ers wanted to be cutthroat like that. I just don't think they are. And another thing that Brock could actually do, right? Like, he's a quarterback. They don't touch them in training camp and in practice. Brock can go to OTAs. He can go to practice, and he can just say, hey, my agent said if we don't get this done, I'm not going to play in the game, right? So that can kind of save his spot so Mac Jones can't step in, but it also is a way of him holding out. But really, the Niners were just like real cutthroat. They should just say, hey, hold out, because he's got to play, 7 games or something like that in order to accrue the season. They have all the leverage. They don't need to fold. And Brock, it would be a little foolish to me to not take $45 million and play on 5 to try to prove himself. So I think the Niners should play hardball, but I don't think they will.
They just never do.
Yeah.
They played hardball with Tabor Pepper, man. Get the hell off the team, Tabor. Yeah. We're tough. They're like the fakest tough guys.
Did they just Debo Tabor Pepper? They couldn't even. Why you pick on Tabor?
Man. Debo was like, "We're out. I'm out." I wonder if the Niners are like, "Please, no, please, we need you,
please, bro. Come on,
give you all the touches."
There's got to be a way we can talk about this, Tyshawn. There's got to be a way,
Tyshawn. I just feel like Brock Purdy's watching the Niners flail this offseason, like beg Greenlaw to come back, ultimately fold a use check and say, "I'm in a good spot. These guys are weak. They're as weak as they were last year."
Yeah, but you know what sucks about this is that it's going to just be a bad season of the Flavor of Love. Remember Flavor of Love? Yeah, Flavor Flav. Yeah, Flavor Flav sat back. Yeah, Flavor Flav sat back and looked at all of those ill repute choices, and he got to laugh at them and go through all of these horrible hijinks. But it was still Flavor Flav, though. It was still Flavor. That's what kills me. Brock is still going to go and look at the 49ers and hold out, but it's going to be like, yeah, but what do we get after all of this holdout? Brock freaking Purdy. That's what we get. So that is still a horrible situation on his face. That's why I don't like it at all.
I did a mock draft today with the different publishers of On SI, and Shadur Sanders fell to the Niners at 11. I didn't know what to do.
Oh, God. Did you throw your phone away?
I didn't take Shadur Sanders. I took Kenneth Grant, but I feel like you could argue that they should take Shadur. If he just fall, what do the Niners do? He's not going to fall to 11, is he? No one really wants to take him.
He might fall to 11, and he would fit perfect in the Shanahan offense. I'm just letting you know right now.
I don't know. To me,
I also feel like Kyle would be so impressed to have like a link to Deion Sanders to be like, I know Deion's kid.
Shador just feels like a.
You know what sucks is that's true. I think that he would fanboy over Shador instead of coach him first.
So much.
You think you get your dad up here to talk to the team? As if he's not the head coach of the 49ers. You know what would really be awesome if we can get Prime up here, because that would be like a 40. You know what they do?
I should have had the guts to mock Shador to the Niners in that. It was right there, dude. It was right there.
Yeah.
And then he fell to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins guy passed on him too. I'm like, man, you might want to.
Who did you get? Who did you get?
Kenneth Grant. And I felt like this is a reach. And I think I really feel like the Niners are scared as hell to reach for another defensive tackle after doing so with Javon Kinlaw and Solomon Thomas. I almost feel like they're not going to touch the position around one because of those two misses, which kind of sucks. But
yeah,
a receiver?
They might. I wouldn't be
at 11.
It's Kyle, man. If they trade Ayuk in the next couple of weeks,
if they trade Ayuk,
get a receiver,
all possibilities are open.
Well, yeah, if they trade Ayuk, then blow up everybody's mock draft.
They could take a corner.
Tricky Dicks on the loose.
If Jahdae Barron falls, they could absolutely take a corner and say, "Look, it's the best player available. We need everything." Yeah.
What's that kid's name? Tet. What's his name? Tet
McMillan. Tet McMillan.
He's at 11. That's hard to pass up. That's hard to pass up at 11.
I don't think he's going to fall to 11, but if he is there, you could argue he's the best player available at a position of need.
Yeah.
He's hella good.
I mean, I had a Tet McMillan week last week. I was talking about Tet, but I don't know. That would just be a little too much, man. We just drafted a receiver in the first round last year.
No disrespect to Pearsall, though. This guy's better. Let's take some super chats and get back to it. Dazza says, how can you take the Niners seriously when they gave Juice the same money the Eagles gave Ojolari? Who's taking the Niners seriously right now? Are the Niners taking the Niners seriously right now?
We're the smartest team in football. We need a fullback. Nobody else just knows it yet. They need fullbacks too.
How many fullbacks are there in football? 5?
Yeah, we got 4 of them. We got 3 in the practice squad.
There's 8, I think.
8? Okay. Man.
8. Well, 8 to get enough playing time to be like recognized by PFF.
GTC Reels says, cheers, boys. Cheers, GTC Reels. El Jefe
Cheers.
says, do you guys think they're really getting younger? Yeah, man, I think Juszczyk is getting younger every year.
They got no choice.
Bill Kennedy says, Greenlaw will miss half the season due to injury, in my opinion. That's kind of
Ominous.
Dave Barclay says, not a Mac fan and pray Brick is gone and Mac starts. Wow, that's how call him Brick. El Pancho Loco says, but Lombardi said the Rams made the playoffs with a third of the team being rookies, so we shouldn't worry. Have you guys ever had El Pollo Loco?
The crazy chicken.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I just want to say that. I kind of like El Pollo Loco, just a straight up chicken. Jumaro Thomas says, man, we miss Adam Peters. I think Tariq Ahmad is good. I think the Niners need to worry about losing him. He's good. How many more personnel people can the Niners lose? El Jefe says, can they recreate more successful young players?
Yes.
That's the name of the game. Spider369 says, Mac Jones got that aura.
He's got 100 million.
Yeah. He won
got
a
100
championship.
mil.
He's a champion. Freaking champion. KS needs to make playoffs or he should be out. You're here. Dave Barclay says, draft another quarterback, make Brick QB3 if you want him. Wow. How quickly people turn on you. Joseph Furreal says, I hope the team can develop their tendon and foot strength by hiking in the offseason barefoot, even simply using barefoot shoes. Armstead had baby boy feet with his plantar fasciitis because comfy shoes. This is a great point.
I saw Joseph at Burning Man last year too, and he had on the individual shoes with the toes. He
You go
looked
to Burning Man?
snazzy. Yeah.
Sure. Why not? Dave Barclay says top 3 picks, wide receiver, running back, and kicker. Standard Lyle choices. Yeah, because why would you ever really address the trenches? Okay, guys, we've expressed our confusion, but we're also 49ers experts here, and people come to us for the answers. So y'all want you to tell them, what is the best move the Niners have made this offseason? Seriously.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
You want to go?
Go ahead.
Picking up Robert Saleh.
Damn you, coach. Damn you, coach.
I think that's right there. Before we even get to just, who Robert Saleh is as the coach, it gives us more cachet. It helps out the locker room. One thing that it does is that it takes more off Kyle's plate. He came in and they weren't even trying to hide it. Called him the head coach of the defense. Also bringing in Robert Saleh, just the Rolodex of his coaching carousel that he's been with since he's left the 49ers has helped us out tremendously. I believe that we got a DB's coach in here via Robert Saleh. I believe that we also got our special teams coach in here through Robert Saleh's connection. Also, more direction. A little bit more deliberate. When Robert Saleh got here, the first thing we heard about the defense is that we want to get stronger. He wants to get faster. He wants to be more physical. I understand that these can be, cliches, that everybody wants to get younger, faster. But when you hear it from Robert Saleh and you understand that he's one of the founding fathers or the architects of what we know as 49ers defense in the last damn near 10 years, it means something. Also, just his cachet with being able to with being able to scout certain guys. I want Robert Saleh scouting our next crop of young defenders to come in here. I trust his eye. One thing that he did that carried over into New York was his amazing defense, even no matter how bad that team was. His DNA of what he does truly as a linebackers coach shines through. And don't look now, but outside of a defensive line, I would say our linebacking crew is pretty much one of the most influx rooms that we have. So we also have another guy in the building. So Coach Saleh, familiar face. Also, we're not even going to talk about just the bedside manner of being one of the better coaches that we're outsourcing kind of our culture to him, being the guy that runs the stadiums before games, the hype up rah-rah guy during the sidelines. Definitely a player's coach. And it was a good get from us, almost so much so that it fooled us into thinking we were having a good offseason. So I would say Robert Saleh.
I think that's right. I think coach is right. But if I had to name a second one, to me, it's letting Debo go. Debo requested a trade according to him. 49ers obliged. I think that's a good thing, and I think it's going to translate on the field. We've seen Kyle Shanahan kind of force the ball to Debo Samuel, and as a receiver and as a running back, and both have declined greatly over the last year. And he might go to the Commanders and might get his groove back, so to speak, for this next season. But I think it's a good thing the 49ers moved on from him because they need to stop forcing him the ball. And I think that move alone is going to change the 49ers offense more than anything else that they can possibly do this offseason.
Yeah, I would say not panicking in that first wave of free agency when Jalen Moore got a big contract and Aaron Banks and Talanoa Hufanga, letting those guys go, and then Joey Bosa as well. Now, I don't think the Floyd part of that made sense, but as far as not signing Joey Bosa, that was the right move. They're paying Joey Bosa for this team and where they're at, and they're not a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. To pay him that kind of money just so he can play with his brother, it wouldn't have made any sense. He's on the wrong side of 30. He can't stay healthy. I think for Buffalo, it makes sense, or a team that's chasing a ring. Maybe you can get almost a full year of health out of him. You get the 1-year deal, but the 49ers, it doesn't make sense to do it. So I would say that first wave of free agency and not overpaying for their guys or other guys that were out there on the market, I think that was a smart move.
Those are all good moves. I mean, the Robert Saleh, great move, but also a no-brainer in the sense that who else were you going to get? And he wanted to come back. Almost he hired himself. With Debo, again, was it your move or was it his move? He wanted out. I'd give you more credit if you made the move yourself. And then with not making a move in free agency, it could have been a choice or it could have been a mandate from ownership. So my favorite move was signing Mac Jones because they didn't give him much money. They had a lot of choices. They made a decision. They made a choice. This is the one guy we want. And they gave him a 2-year deal. I think it's really savvy. They learned from the Sam Darnold experience. They're trying to do it again. But instead of having a guy for 1 year, they signed him for 2. We know they liked him coming out of college. It would have been the wrong pick back then, but now 2 years, $7 million. I love it. And I think he fits the system. And I think it's quarterback. You have a potential to have the most important position on your team for really cheap. Love it.
I like the fact that you like the Mac Jones move, man. It really does make sense. We talked about this on the coaches meeting where we went back and forth about the potential competition. I was against the competition, but you do want options, right? You do want, even if Brock wasn't going through a contract year, I've said it and I stick with this. I believe that Brock is a bridge quarterback. I really do. I do not think he is our long-term answer at quarterback. I believe that he's good enough to patch us through, right? But the only thing that I like about it is that Mac Jones, I just would like another option at 2, but I love the workflow of it. Having a guy ready where, hey, Brock, we're going to sign you because one thing that I don't want to get away from is that Brock deserves to be paid. I don't want to get caught up in, what type of money he wants to get paid or, he wants to, kind of hamstring the team. I get all of that, but let's not forget he saved us. That kid deserves to be paid. He's been working on a horrible deal for what he's been doing for us, even with the bad season he had last year.
All right. Let's move on to the worst move the Niners.
If y'all don't agree, I don't care if you don't. I'm just saying. You don't. So you guys, let's get into it. You guys don't think he deserves to be paid?
Deserves.
I didn't say anything.
Deserves. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you, you mealy mouth motherfuckers. I'm asking you. So do you believe that he deserves to get paid?
Give him $45 million a year. I wouldn't.
I don't think he deserves. I mean, $37 million. I don't think 45. I think 45 is too much. But go ahead.
What I would say
is Darnold got paid, 3 years, $100 million because he just had one good year. I'm looking at Brock as a guy who had one great year. I mean, 2022 was like a month and a half. 2023 was really special, and then 2024 was not good. So $45 million. I mean, I think he's kind of in that 3-year deal, 110 million. And then if he wants that, then great. And if not, I'm not really tripping. Those aren't franchise quarterbacks. Those are bridge quarterbacks, to your point. And
I think he deserved to be paid more than he was paid, but yet that doesn't mean he deserves to be paid $60 million or whatever it may be. So it just depends on what you mean by he deserves to be paid.
Well, I said he's a bridge quarterback, so I would say the absolute ceiling with him that I would pay Brock is $40 million a year.
And when you say bridge, you're thinking 3-year deal or 5-year deal?
Yeah, 3-year deal. 3-year at the most. Bridge quarterback. 3-year at the most. Right. Yes. You got 3 years to find your guy.
3 years, but from at the most.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. He deserves that money. right? I would take Brock at what's that? 3 years, 120. So what's that? 40?
Yeah, but backloaded and no guaranteed money after year 2.
Cool.
That last year is going to be really a high cap number. Well, and those first 2 are going to be kind of team friendly. We'll see about that third year.
That's life-changing money, in my opinion. Yeah. That's generational money.
Yeah.
That's I feel like that's fair for what you've done so far. But I think that he should at least get that. You know what I'm saying? Not at least. I think that's right in everything. We squared you away.
Yeah. But
if he wants more than that, then kick rocks.
I don't think he's asking for that. If that's what the Niners are offering, then they're going to be way far apart with Brock. And Brock's going to look at how they folded with Juszczyk and Greenlaw and Ayuk and Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey and Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel and be like, you know what? Maybe patience is a virtue.
So if he accepted 40, I wouldn't be mad about it because that breaks down to 6 years, 124, like 20 per year. So I wouldn't be mad. Like if you talk about back paying him, right, for what he's done already. That wouldn't make me mad, but I don't think he's going to accept that. That's the problem.
Then franchise him out until we get rid of him because he shouldn't get more than that. But my only thing is I don't even care what Jed pays Brock, right? I don't care about that. What I care about is how long we have to keep Brock on the team. So 3 years should be enough for them to find a viable guy that they could at least get on the team. If not start right away, at least be able to sit there and learn and be able to take Brock's job. But I think we would absolutely be killing the organization for the next 5 to 6 years if we gave Brock any semblance of a franchise deal. There'd be no way around it.
What frustrates me is that I don't think Mac Jones or Brock Purdy are the answer at quarterback for the 49ers. And so we don't have that guy on the roster, in my opinion. I think Brock's good, but I just don't think he's that guy. So that's what's frustrating for me.
Yeah, but who would you rather have? Mac Jones at $3.5 million or Brock Purdy at $50+ million? Give me Mac Jones at $3.5 million.
Mac Jones.
That's a no-brainer.
And the fact that you have Mac Jones on a 2-year deal for $7 million just means I'm just like I just feel less desperate if I'm the Niners about Brock.
The thing is,
we want Brock. We obviously want Brock, but we have Brock. He's under contract. Literally have Brock. We could have a cheap quarterback room. And if he wants, and we'll offer him something, but we don't have to lose this negotiation or capitulate the way we always do.
What I don't like about Mac Jones is this offensive line. If the 49ers had a stout offensive line, I'd feel a lot better about Mac Jones. But I feel like on this team, you need some mobility back there. And I do like that about Brock.
Counterpoint, in 2023, when Christian McCaffrey was rolling, which may never happen again, I don't feel like Brock Purdy did a whole lot of scrambling. I feel like it was very much play action, drop back, guys open. Play action, drop back, guys open.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And Mac Jones, say what you want about him. There's 2 different types of mobility. There's pocket mobility, and then there's mobility beyond the line of scrimmage. Brock Purdy has mobility beyond the line of scrimmage. If you watch Mac Jones, he actually has good pocket mobility, so he can protect.
That's very good pocket mobility. That's a good point. I believe that.
Let's see what Poop Saggets has to say. He says, "Hi, gentlemen. Joe Thomas or Trent Williams?" Question, Poop Saggets.
Joe.
Why?
Longevity, bigger body, stronger man. Joe.
Did you say longevity? I love that.
Longevity. He did say longevity.
Yeah, longevity. Sorry.
It's okay. That's good. All day, every day. Kim says, Coach, why do you think Brock shouldn't have to compete with Mac? If anyone needs to prove himself against competition, it's Brock. Stop playing the fence like a politician. Oh, damn.
No, I'm not. I'm glad you said that. No, I'm not playing the fence. My thing is that I just want us to be able to get out of. I believe that we're doing what we need to do as an organization. We're ripping the Band-Aid off and getting rid of the dead weight that we need to. That's important, but that's half the job. The other half of the job is to be able to have some resemblance of continuity and consistency over the 2 years while you're switching guys in and out. In order for us to at least make the playoffs. That's what I think a successful year, which I think will be a beautiful question. Me and Jessie talked about this. This would be a beautiful question for you to ask in the owners meeting, Grant, to all 3 of them separately. What are your expectations for next year? We know we're not in the Super Bowl window. So what is it? Is making the playoffs a good year? Is making a wild card game a good year? What do we need to do in order give us some type of scale for us to pay attention to what we've got? So For me, I don't want to go through a quarterback competition because I believe that while the quarterbacks compete, the entire team is watching. You're not getting better as a team. You're not getting better through camp. We're just waiting to see who's going to be the starting quarterback. And I don't want to watch another mid quarterback competition. That's all we do is watch. They're always mid. They're not good. It's just trying to figure out who the shortest midget is. I don't care about who wins the quarterback competition out of Brock and Mac Jones. I care about the entire team. So no, I don't want a quarterback competition.
Devin Smith says prediction: the tight end signing will effectively shift some of the blocking responsibility away from George Kittle. This change allows him to be more actively engaged in the passing game. Brock Purdy plays on the last year. Interesting.
I hope that you're right there, Devin. That would be fantastic if Kittle was more active in the passing game. I'm just not convinced, but I hope you're right.
I feel like Darnold knows he's mid and knows he's a bridge quarterback, so he would accept that 3-year deal. But I would hope that Brock's like, nah, man, like I'm really, really that good. Let me prove it. I'm not even offended that you didn't offer me all that. I know I had a down year last year. Let me come back and beat out Mac and show everyone that I'm really that guy. I would love to see Brock do that.
What would you say about Brock if he did take a team-friendly deal and signed it early on time?
Kind of makes me feel like he knows he's not that much better than Darnold, and
he knows.
He knows, which is fine. But
I would love it if he signed it.
He presented himself as a guy with like tons of confidence until recently. I want to see it.
Let's see.
I mean, he was doing this stuff in Pittsburgh. Like, what happened to that? Amp the Carolina Niners says Devo leaving will make Kyle Shanahan better, but CMC next injury will take Kyle Shanahan totally off guard and ruin his offense. Book it. Yeah, that's who could see that coming. Spider369 says CMC and Ayuk made Purdy what he was. Kilo TW says, which second-year player or players from last year's draft do you see taking that leap this upcoming season?
D Winners.
Oh, yeah, I like D Winner. That's third-year guy. I think Pearsall is the obvious one. He showed like he's got something the last couple of
from last year's draft.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to be great, but he's going to be productive next year if he stays healthy, I think.
I'm counting on Malik to take a jump. I'm kind of surprised you didn't go there, Ryan. But Malik Mustafa.
He's already that guy, bro. But what about Cowing? Like, what do we see for Cowing this coming season? Anything?
He's so short. Sorry.
Punt returner.
They hit him.
He's like 5'7".
Yeah.
What about Evan Anderson?
That's a really good call.
Yeah.
Evan Anderson is solid, especially if he takes care of his body.
Right.
Evan Anderson could be a problem.
Stronger, a little bit more endurance.
Yeah, a little bit more in shape. He could be a problem.
Dave Sims says off topic. Check out Dave's Daily Takes. It's good. Dave Sims Daily Takes. I bet they're phenomenal.
About to take
Patriot Builders of Montana is the sponsor of the show, says Dave Sims. He said, damn, Chad is on fire. All the MVPs are here. El Pancho Loco says, I see coach's point is fair, but at what point do we stop letting the market dictate a player's true worth? I'm over mid quarterbacks. Find an elite quarterback.
Yep.
Lobs all day. Been a member for 7 months. Thank you very much, Lobs. I appreciate you. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, because he's going to be a doctor one day, and then he's going to delete the whole thing, and all of his insights are going to be gone. So get it while you can. Lobs. He won't even say his real name. He won't even stream, because one day he's going to be doing surgery on people and be like, did you say that the 49ers should start Mac Jones? I can't have you operate on me. Nathan Ed says, who would y'all build the team around if you traded the rest of the studs and started over? Do you guys really want to sign Purdy?
No.
I don't want to sign Purdy at all.
Jackson Dart.
If it was up to me, Purdy he just play out everything. I'd franchise him twice. Just wait till I get a guy.
Poco Loco Catered is so good. Build your own plate. Pollo Loco is so good. I'm trying to tell you. Here's how you know El Pollo Loco is good. In Oakland, Fruitvale, like they have the best Mexican food, and there's an El Pollo Loco there, and there's an and the drive-thru is packed. Is there a Taco Bell? No. El Pollo Loco, absolutely, of course. Okay, what is the worst?
Is there Jack in the Box 3 a.m. tacos when you're on a bender?
There is a Jack in the Box there too, though. I gotta say, dude, everyone loves Jack in the Box. Because what other place can you get tacos and egg rolls and burgers for $1?
And they're all good.
So good. Working the Jack in the Box dollar menu is a work of art. That's serious stuff. I haven't really done it since 2010, but I used to get the junior bacon cheeseburger with the sourdough, and they would just give it to me for free because I asked nicely. Because you want that sourdough Jack, but it's like $9. Anyway, That's neither here nor there. What is the worst move the Niners have made this offseason? There's a lot to choose from.
I think it's. Go ahead,
yeah,
Josh. Yeah,
I was going to say bringing back Juice.
Mm.
I mean, you cut bait with him. Why bring him back? And it's not even, honestly, it's not even the fact that they brought him back as a player. It's how they navigated the whole thing. Maybe they saved under $1 million out of Jed's pocketbook, but they cost themselves more against the cap to bring him back because they're paying dead cap of $3.57 million to cut him, plus whatever his salary is this year, on top of you gave him an extra year. So this is a player that for 2 years you've flirted with getting off the team, so much so that you actually cut him and brought him back. And then you thought to yourself, not only are we going to bring him back, but we're going to give him an extra year next year, knowing for 2 years we've already contemplated moving on from him. We're definitely going to want him on the team next year. I don't understand the reasoning. It's one thing if he's on the team, you restructure the deal, you figure it out, he takes a pay cut, great. But to make him leave, have him come back, take the dead cap hit, give him the extra year, none of that makes sense, and it all could have been avoided.
Yeah. I'm going to say.
Other than that, great move.
I'm going to say Greenlaw. Letting Denver get him for 11.6 for 3 years is going to be a bargain. I think Denver's going to he's going to ball out on Denver. I really think that. And then not having the conviction of it, right? It's one thing if you had the conviction like, no, we don't believe that he's going to be good, so we don't really want to offer him anything long term. But it's faking that was the situation. And then when Denver gave it to him, running back to him like, hey, we can do that. And he's like, no. So they fumbled Dre Greenlaw and that negotiation. I think that's going to be the worst move looking back.
I think the worst move is just how they've been negotiating with free agents thus far. They really haven't really put their arms or put their target on one guy and just kind of went all in. It seems like they're still moving with we got options. We're trying to move in a position where we keep all options open so we can be able to move in when something happens. And they're not really convicted. I mean, we heard about Drew Dahlman since what? January? All right. And then he falls through our fingers, right? Ryan Kelly from the Colts, even though he'd have been an older guy, definitely an uptick, though, from Jake Brindle. He goes out the door for 1 year. He goes out the door for $9 million a year to the Vikings, right? The same thing that we had with the guy that just came out of the Jets with Wes Switzer. He signs with the Patriots for nothing. Basically no guaranteed money. I'm just kind of shocked at what they've done with the offensive line thus far. Bringing back Ben Barch after he's only played one game at guard in the snow and barely had a good game at that doesn't really move the needle for me. I just do not understand why they're not going to take the offensive line seriously. And the thing about it is that one guy added to the offensive line out of what we do is such a force multiplier. We saw what Dominic Pooney did just out of right guard, coming in as a true rookie. He elevated Colton McKivitt's game as well as Jake Brindle. But for me, I just think the worst move of this offseason is not taking the offensive line seriously. They could have really doubled down, went out and got a center. They could have made that happen. I mean, for what it's worth, piece together Juice's money and that tight end's money to go get Dolman in here. Like, I don't care, and it shows that they know how to move once they see the type of money that they can do. But really, it's not about giving players what they're worth. It's about I feel as though that when they give out numbers and then they posthumously go back, always going back on their word, what it shows me is that they're trying to get the best out of the deal without being honest brokers. And then once they see that if they would have given just a little bit of truthfulness into what their true desires were out of the player and showed some worth, that they would have came out on the better end. It really looks like the Niners, to be honest with you, I'm a hustler. It looks like the Niners are ass betters. It looks like that they put out certain stuff, they lowball, and they act like they want you. And then when they can't move, when you move on from it and they see that it's a deal that could have got done, they swoop in at the last hour and try to lean on the relationship of the player. But they don't understand that that's not how business works. When you screw me and we're friends, the relationship is already over because you don't treat me respectfully enough. to give me what I'm worth. So, like we talked about with Dre Greenlaw, not only am I feeling a certain way that I'm not playing with the Niners, but you screwed me. I got hurt on your team. I came back, tried to fight for my money. Then you undercut me because you didn't think I had a market. I go out here and get a little semblance of respect, and now you're telling me that you want to give me a deal? Come on, man. That's not business. That's cowardice. So, the Niners, they just I don't like the way they're moving. The worst move is how they've been moving through free agency. They've been bungling shit.
Look at Jessie.
Is Jessie frozen?
I thought he just...
Jesse just froze. He hasn't moved.
He's going to come back, though.
Oh, there he is. Okay, here's worst move for me. You guys nailed them, all the good ones, but this one to me is like on another level of bad.
Let's go.
Still, I just don't. I'll never understand it. The Luke Farrell signing, $20 million, 3 years for Luke Farrell, and when they did it, you're thinking, okay, well, maybe this means that he's going to start and like they're going to not use a fullback anymore. Nope, wrong. No, he's just here to replace Charlie Warner as the backup tight end, the blocking tight end. Here's the thing. Charlie Warner, better player than Luke Farrell, if we're just talking about blocking. And he gets paid 3 years, $12 million from the Falcons. So the Niners gave more to this guy to fill a role and not even do it as well. Like, that's an all-time bad signing. Just $20 million, but like, man, he's not going to make the team better. So, Luke Farrell with a bullet.
That's a good one. There's a few to choose from there.
Oh, yeah, there's a few. Okay.
But the Luke Farrell deal is nasty work.
Oh, okay. Give me one more move you think the Niners should make this offseason.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's get rid of the two Jakes. Jake Brendel, Jake Moody. It's time to move on from the two Jakes. And like, we're talking about all this stuff they're doing on special teams, bringing in all these players, signing Brant Boyer to be the special
There's actually
team
3 Jakes on the team.
coordinator. But the two Jakes I want to get rid of, Jake Brendel.
Sure. There's Jacob. Jacob, he's good because he goes by Jacob.
Like, I really don't want to hear all this stuff about what they're doing on special teams until they at least bring in competition for Jake Moody and at least bring in competition for Jake Brendel. Like,
also, Jacob Cowing wasn't a good punt returner. You could do better than Jacob Cowing returning punts. Pearsall was better. Sorry, I'm talking over you. Go ahead.
I would just like to see like real competition at minimum. Like, maybe don't just want to replace those guys, but at minimum, bring in some dudes and give them a real competition and make it real and see what happens.
I mean, I think the elephant in the room, I mean, it's not the elephant in the room. We talked about it, but just don't pay Brock Purdy. There's no reason to do this. You don't have to do it. Ride this thing out. It's interesting because we talk about what the market is, the market. Brock Purdy is caught between two different markets because of the way that he's played. When Tua got paid, he was coming off of the best year of his career. When Jordan Love got paid, he was coming off of a 10-game burner. When Dak got paid, he was runner-up and MVP. The only one that got and even Trevor Lawrence was coming off of probably his best year as a pro. Not that none of those guys deserve to get paid. Let me be clear. Not a single one of them deserved to get that kind of money. However, at least all of them were coming off of really good seasons. That is not the case with Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy was eligible to get paid after the previous season, sure. I totally understand it. What are you going to do? But that's not the case. He's coming off of the worst season of his career. Now, it's a short career. It's only 2 full seasons, but it was a clear regression. And when you pair that with CMC, the 5 games that he played with Jimmy Garoppolo and how good Jimmy Garoppolo looked for those 5 games, by far the most efficient he was for his whole career. He had never gone 4 games in a row without a turnover. He went 5 straight games without a turnover during that span. Best 5-game span of his career. And also to know that less than a year later, he proved to the league he was a backup quarterback, not even a starter in this league. He was a backup quarterback. He went to the Raiders, was absolutely atrocious. And then when you watch Brock Purdy for the first time in his career have to go without a full CMC and you see what it looks like in the ups and downs, man, I can't trust that. Do not pay this guy. Do not pay Brock Purdy. Ride this thing out, man.
That was a strong take. I liked it.
God damn, that was beautiful, man.
I loved it.
How do you follow that? That was good. Don't pay him. Shoot,
pay
you might
him.
as well take up offering after that shit. God damn, uplifted hands. You know what I'm saying?
You had so much facts and figures and numbers. Yes, I agree.
I agree. I 100%. I don't even want to step on it. I agree, bro. Like you can't. You sign him. There's no way
Change
around.
coach's opinion. Jesse,
Yeah.
change his mind.
No. Listen, he's still a bridge quarterback. I think that he should get paid, but I don't think that he should get paid past 3 years. I think that giving him a bridge quarterback deal will be perfect. Give him the Baker deal. Give him the deal. What's his face that just came over to Seattle? Sam Darnold. Give him the Sam Darnold deal. I do 37 a year. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you deserve it. Is
Whose turn
that?
is it my turn?
Did you
I lost
cut me
track.
off to ask me if it was your turn?
No, I'm sorry. Was
Is
it your
that
turn?
what you did?
Did I cut you off? Yeah, I cut you off. Is it my
You
turn?
literally stopped me in the middle of talking to ask you if it was your turn.
Well, I was asking Jesse and Ryan and you. It was for the whole group. But I don't know. Is it my turn? I'm going to say it's my
It was
turn.
Coach's
Okay,
turn.
so I like Jesse's answer very much, but it was like a non-move. Like, don't do this. I'm going to say a move they need to do is trade Ayuk. They need to trade Ayuk before April 1. You want to save cash? That's $22 million on a player who's not going to play this year or not play particularly well. And it doesn't matter what you get back. You just need to find a team that's interested. Clearly, the Patriots are interested. So whatever they're willing to give you, take it. That's it. You got to trade Brandon Ayuk. You got to do it. Rip off the Band-Aid. That's the theme of the year. If there is one theme of this year, they're trying to rip off Band-Aids. That's a big one. The Ayuk Band-Aid.
But they're not. That's the problem I have. That's how we started the show. It's like I felt like that was the case, but now it doesn't seem like that is the case. I don't know. I agree, though. Ayuk probably should go. And I was one of the biggest advocates to sign Brandon Ayuk. I really was. But it's a year later, an injury later. I mean, if you can move off that deal, you got to do it.
Some of the day, some of the time, Kim says, why should the Niners sign Brock? I do not understand signing a quarterback that you know lacks physical skills and can't throw a wet ball to any extension all day. This comment preceded Jesse's just straight evisceration of Brock Purdy and his agent. So thank you very much all day, every day, Kim. Macklin says, how many rookies do we think are starting week 1? Ooh, great question. 3? 4?
4.
3. Oh, 4.
4.
Straight up 4. Whew. Yeah. Kyle's going to love that. Nathan Ed says, what one leader would y'all build around, though?
What leader we build around?
Fred?
Greenlaw.
Fred? Greenlaw. Nice.
Greenlaw's not here.
Oh,
Fred.
that's a good point. Dave Sims says, damn, I agree with Coach. Not often. Still love him. Okay. Dave Sims says, is there any way we'd be better next year with 27 picks? Sure.
Next year, it looks like we got 27 picks.
Is there a maximum number of picks you can have? All 262, roughly. Nathan Ed says Rodgers waiting on Purdy's holdout or trade. No one wants Rodgers, and I love it.
He's so weird, dude. What does he do? Like, why is anybody waiting on him?
I don't think
The
they
new
are.
Brett
Dan
Favre,
Serrano
bro.
says I applaud the front office for tackling special teams issues. Go Niners. That was
They
the most
hired a
wholesome,
guy.
positive comment of the day. Thank you, Dan Serrano. He's happy.
They hired.
You fucks are completely entitled. And this Dan Serrano here, he's back. I'd take the stadium hot dog and a warm beer for Ayuk. Oh, okay.
I like his logo. Is he an electrician?
One reason why I love the BA move that they need to do it is that it's not about compensation. It's all about the deal. So truthfully, I don't care what we get for BA as long as we get him off the books.
Silky Smooth Smithers says last pick of the draft, he better not hold out. That's the thing, it's funny. When Jordan Mason was going good, everyone loved him. But then the Niners trade him for nothing, and they're like, well, he was UDFA. What are you going to do? Same thing with Purdy, man. If Purdy starts holding out and they ultimately move him, people will be like, well, he was Mr. Irrelevant. Moving on. You know what I mean? We got something out of him. People won't really. The whole fairy tale of Brock Purdy will just go up in smoke like Cinderella's did. Anyway,
I think it's so funny watching people tap dance like over players that they fawn over, and then the moment they're gone, they're like, "Oh, just such a good move! Oh, just wow!"
that was the Jimmy
The 49ers, man, they did it again.
All right, I got a bonus topic for you guys. Assuming that we're done with the super chats. Yeah. Okay. Non-football topic. I'm inspired by Ryan because he does those very well. What would you guys say is your favorite? No, not favorite. What is the greatest rap album of all time and why? Explain what makes it so great in your opinion.
Oh man.
Okay, I can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a couple. I would say honorable mentions.
get one.
I really like
You don't
Low
get
End
to-
Theory,
you don't
Tribe
get-
Called Quest album. Also the Chronic, Dr. Dre. That's the honorable mention. But I gotta go All Eyes on Me with Tupac. 27 songs, like some of his most popular songs, like My Ambitions as a Writer, Two of His Most Wanted, Hearts of Men. Like there's 27 of them. All Eyes on Me. I Ain't Mad at You. Like Tupac is the best rapper of all time, in my opinion, and that's his best
It's
album.
like 90% of his great songs are on that album.
So, a lot of them. I think that's the album.
I agree.
Ready to
I
Die.
think-
Notorious B.I.G.
Oh,
Ready to Die.
That is a
Yeah,
good one.
for me, I think that it's a flawless record. 17 tracks. For me, I'm a storyteller, so I love Biggie's flow. I love just his ability to literally dip in and out of narratives. And for me, just some of the best joints. I mean, Things Gonna Change, Give Me the Loot, Machine Gun Funk, One More Change, Juicy, Everyday Struggle. And again, Biggie only came out with I think like 3 albums. Counting You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You, which was
Life After Death.
Life After Death, yeah, which was a double CD after he died. So he was on it, but not really on it. So for me, it's Ready to
2
Die.
albums.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He did 2 albums. Life After Death was like the double album after he passed away.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Chronic 2001. It's got 21 songs. It's got crazy good features. You can listen to that thing cover to cover. It's got small, like only niche West Coast artists. It's got big time artists on it.
Devin the
it's got
Dude's on it.
best- Yeah,
Devin the Dude
Dude's
is on it.
Corrupt.
Yeah.
Corrupt.
Rough.
Corrupt is underrated. Yeah.
Yep. So you'd look at all the people that are actually on that album. There's a who's list on that album, and literally from the Watcher forward, banger after banger, all album through. Man, I think that's the greatest rap album of all time.
I got an honorable mention though. No, Grant didn't even give his. Go, Grant. I don't
Go
want
ahead.
to
No,
take
go
you
ahead. Go ahead. Because I'm going to name multiple as well. Go ahead.
The
got an
Fix by Scarface.
Love
The
that.
Fix. The
Love
Fix is such a fire ass album.
I
And
love Scarface.
Reasonable Doubt by Hove. Reasonable Doubt came out in 96. Reasonable Doubt is a banger. I don't care if you don't like it, lift your head. It is a banger of an album. I think Reasonable Doubt is a classic.
West Side Connection's Bow Down is also a great album.
Love that West Side Connection. Love West Side
AT
Connection.
Aliens, Outcast.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite.
Okay.
That is
All right. Here,
true.
now I'm going to take you through my thought process for what I'm going to say. So I can't pick one. To me, there's like 3 distinct regions in rap: West Coast, East Coast, South, and they're all great in their own ways. So I'm going to pick one for each. So for East Coast, to me, the East Coast was the most dominant centralized location of rap in the 80s. So I'm going to go my favorite 80s, most important 80s. I'm going to go The Great Adventures of Slick Rick for a lot of the same reasons that Coach picked Biggie. I mean, Slick Rick was the original storyteller. And of all the rappers in the 80s, I think his flow holds up the best because he wasn't yelling. Like everyone else had that Beastie Boys, Run DMC, like, yo, we're here and we are rapping. And he was just chilling. So I
Kane?
think Slick Rick,
Big Daddy Kane?
I mean, even LL Cool J, LL Cool J still holds up.
Big
But
Daddy Kane was smooth, bruh.
yeah, but I
And
mean,
Rakim.
there weren't a lot of smooth rappers in 1987. It was a lot of that Ad Rock, MCA, anyway. And that was cool too. So I'm going Slick Rick, Great Adventures of Slick Rick for the 80s, New York. Then for the 90s, to me, that's when the West Coast ruled everything. And a lot of people would say the Chronic. I would say that Doggy Style. I prefer the Doggy Style of Chronic because to me, what I go for is an album that has minimal skits. A skit or two is cool, but I want it to be song after song after song, and no skips. Absolutely no skips. Otherwise, if I'm skipping 3-4 songs, it's not going to be in my greatest of all time. So Doggy Style is just completely unskippable. But if like of that like West Coast pimp hustler genre, I think there's an album that's even better than Doggy Style. It takes it to the next level. And I don't even know if you guys know it. It's Street Gospel by Sugar Free. It's produced entirely by DJ Quick. And Sugar Free's flow is kind of like a combination of E40 and Drew Down. And it's on another. It's just, I think, the most high level of pimp raps ever recorded. And if you don't feel me, you need to go listen to Street Gospel tonight. And then for the greatest Southern rap album of all time, the South's been pretty much running it since like 2000. I think the most influential, the best, is Trap Music by T.I. I mean, they're still making trap music in Atlanta to this day. And that album was completely, I mean, every song was great. A lot of deep cuts.
So you gonna take trap music over Thug Motivation?
I love Thug Motivation, but yes, I don't think Thug Motivation would have existed without trap music. I think T.I.'s first album was that important for that whole region for Atlanta. That's really when Atlanta took over. That out 2003, I want to say.
I think like if you're talking about gangster albums, I don't think we had that classification. I think you got to go with Corrupt, The Streets Is a Mother in 1999. That's my favorite.
I didn't expect anyone to go down
then West Side Connection, Bow Down would be my gangster album.
That's a good one. What about Bay Area? What about Bay Area?
Easier said than done. Easy does it.
What about Bay Area?
Bay Area. Not a Mac Dre album, I gotta say, man. He had an incredible amount of great songs, but not like one cohesive album all the way through, although Ronald Reagan was close.
What about Major Way by E40?
Yep. That would be the one. Or Life Is Too Short, but that's a little older. Or Operation Spagola by the Loonies.
We are disrespecting the Midwest, man. Bone Thugs and Harmony.
True.
You tried. I know you thought I was going to say. I thought you was going. I know you thought I was going to go to like Nelly.
Midwest? Like, I don't think they're really on the same level as the other three, but they definitely have good music.
Kanye, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Am I the only person that doesn't want to listen to Kanye anymore?
That's Collector said Nelly.
All right, anymore, but College Dropout. That Kanye was on point.
He was.
I don't think you ever liked Kanye. You're
beautiful
saying
dark
this
I had a Kanye playlist that I had to delete. You know what? I'm not listening to that anymore.
There you go. You just say you don't like the man, but the music was fire.
I did
early on. Yeah, I got you.
I like Bound.
None of us named anything about Wu-Tang 2. That's kind of crazy.
I had to get rid of that one too.
Nobody touched anything about Wu-Tang 2. That's crazy.
Yeah. The best Wu-Tang album would be Only Built for Cuban Links.
I'm surprised. Okay.
Raekwon.
Enter the Wu-Tang? Saying.
Yeah, they were the original.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
I like, they're all pretty good. I don't know. Let's see. Silky Smooth Spider 369 says Kyle should bring back Trey and let all three battle it out. Speaking of Trey, what's the next move for him? What's going on with Trey, man? Is it over? Is the dream over?
Probably go to Canada. Oh, Canada.
That would be smart.
Cool, like Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know they're coming out with a Happy Gilmore 2?
Huh?
Happy Gilmore 2 comes out in like July.
Are they going to recast?
Ooh, somebody says
playing golf in his 60s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, are they really going to?
Fiasco. Somebody said, I love Lupe. Lasers. I love Lasers too. That's a good album. Anyways.
Lamont 757 says, what is our game plan this year? Run the ball till CMC can't stand anymore, actually have a pass game. What is the new OC role? Is he the downfall guy? They're going to lose. That's what they're going to do. They gutted their team, Lamont. We expect them to lose. Joseph Mancusi says, Mac Dre, Genie of the Lamp, Bay Legend.
Over, under on.
No. The best one. The Jack Artist by the Jacka. That's an album you every single song. Jack Artist. Coach doesn't know. Jesse doesn't know.
I don't know. It's like, and you talk about it with so much like fervor as if we should. Like
Ryan knows what I'm talking about.
Roll it out a little bit.
Stupid Dude is my favorite album just because of my age and like I just got out of high school and I was out being a knucklehead, and so that album has the most nostalgia for me. So that's one I go.
Like I have like hometown favorite albums and groups and stuff that I listen to, but I don't break out the deep cuts like you do. Like Grant, you bring out like deep, like in the Bay people that are not known. Like it's hard to get down
like
with
an artist like Jacka or Mac Dre. Like I need to have every single song I like on a Spotify playlist. I need to have them all there. I can't live in a world where Jacka has a great song that I haven't heard and it isn't readily available for me. I have a Jacka playlist with at least 60 songs on it, and that's the way the world should be.
You told me once, Grant. How many playlists do you have?
350 easily.
That's nuts. Yeah, Grant's big.
If I like an artist, I want to know all their good songs, and I want to put it in like a very neurotic list, like chronological, so I can feel their growth as an artist over time.
Wow,
that's how I feel.
I feel like the Bay Area has like its own universe that most people outside the Bay Area have no idea exists.
That's
and
true.
Then the Bay Area, people in the Bay Area like turn their nose up, like everybody should bow down to the.
Yeah, like you're talking about this
like,
Jacka guy. I'm like, I've never heard of this dude. Like, shoot me a link or something.
Like regions of rap, like the Bay is as old as any region. Mac Dre was making songs in the 80s. Too Short was making songs in like 1983. Who else? There was no Atlanta rap. There was no DC rap in 1980. We did that. Freaking MC Hammer and Too Short.
I feel the fervor from you. But we don't listen to that shit over here.
Have an independent rap scene. We didn't have to have.
It didn't make it over here though. It didn't make it over here though. Like that's all I'm saying is like you guys are big in your own world over there. Like
that's okay.
I don't know this guy.
That's okay.
It's cool.
That's what we like about us. We're not necessarily mainstream. We're kind of like underground, kind of.
That's the problem.
But if you have really good taste, you know about it. It's fine.
That's where I have a problem. You don't have to have good taste to know something that nobody's heard of before.
LaRussell's making it out right now. The West Coast is back, dude. Thank you, Kendrick. By the way, West Coast is back.
Oh, you do half your time shitting on Kendrick when you're on here, talking about how you think he's not that good of an artist.
Do I like his voice?
Now you want to thank
Kendrick. Like he's made a great album? Not particularly, but is he putting the West Coast back into the spotlight? Absolutely, and I like that about him. Absolutely. That Super Bowl halftime show was just West Coast stuff. It was great.
It's his sound that's actually mainstream.
Butterfly was a great album by Kendrick. To Pimp a Butterfly,
one of his best albums.
It was a great album.
I didn't mean to offend Ryan with my I did. It was a heavy.
Oh no, you should hear. He goes hard on Kendrick. It's not just now, Ryan. You should hear all of it.
I feel like he tries too hard with his albums, but he does make great music.
I think it's. I think
he has so much pressure.
I think he does too much. I think he's trying to. I think he's trying to put way too much into his music. Like he doesn't have to make these sound effects. He should just rap. He should. Just,
I agree with him.
His songs often have beat switches
at all.
He should just make music that
there's a lot of like
palatable.
critic catnip in there. Like, oh, this song had a beat switch. Isn't that really great? It's like, yeah, but I can't. You could have just made 2 songs. You could have made 1 3.5-minute song with this beat, and then 1 3.5-minute song with that beat. That's my song with the turn the TV off song. It's like it's 2 songs, but it's cool. It's still good. I still like Kendrick. I would listen to him. I don't have a Drake playlist. I have a Kendrick playlist. I don't have a Drake playlist.
Better than one.
You have, out of all of those playlists, not one of them is dedicated to Drake.
Not one.
Out of 300 and some odd playlists, not one.
You can scour through every single playlist I've ever made and tell me if there's a Drake song on any of them.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. Lamont 750. Oh, Dave Sims says, "All eyes on me, Ice Cube, please." And yeah, Chronic. Yeah, Ice Cube was underrated, man. You know what I mean? America, because Most Wanted. Lamont 757 says, "Soulja Boy, best rapper ever with first 1 mil in ringtones after hits. It's Lil Zane and Lil Dicky." Soulja Boy.
I do love Lil Dicky. He's hilarious.
I love Soulja Boy.
You're joking. Best rapper ever? You're joking.
He's joking.
Nobody said that. Who said that?
Yes, he's joking. Ryan, he's joking. Jewish guy says no love for Nas.
Illmatic was dope. Cool.
But
Nas picked
Here's my theory on Nas.
Nas can rap. He raps on bad beats.
Nas is dope.
I have a theory on Nas. He's way too inconsistent. I feel like when he's good, it's because AZ was in the booth with him, like editing his raps. AZ is so freaking good. But Nas he's good, he's great, and then awful. How could someone be so great and so awful on the same album? Something's up with Nas, man. I never understood him.
The album 5 years ago. The album that Nas dropped like 5 years ago was one of the best albums over the last 10 years, in my opinion. That was a good album, man.
Yeah, I just think Nas can rap all day in his sleep. It's just his production be off. Sometimes he be just rapping to like soda cans clanging in the background. I'm like, dude, this beat is horrible. Like, I love listening to you.
Hitman did his last album.
Nas is famous because he was kind of like the first New York dude to do like the "This Is Life in the Trap," where like in the '80s it was very much like LL Cool J, just wearing Kangol and stuff and talking about being fly, and then he brought sort of that West Coast grittiness to New York. He gets credit for that, but like, I don't know. I feel like Wu-Tang did it too, and hella people did it. Like, but anyway, Nas was cool. He had a good voice. I just like AZ better. Every time Nas had a song with AZ, I liked AZ's verse better. Am I tripping on that?
Yeah.
Deshaun, yeah, you tripping. Coach with the East Coast bias, LOL, says Deshaun DeVoe. Dazza says, not the best, but my favorite rap album is Mos Def, Black on Both Sides. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Dan Serrano says, steady mob and Too Short cocktails. Cocktails. How about the Mac? T Breezy says, show DMX some love.
You don't like DMX. You don't like DMX, do you, Grant?
Who doesn't like DMX?
I do love Rakim. I feel like everything Nas did, Rakim did in terms of talk about a guy with a laid back flow in the 80s, dude. Rakim was.
You don't like X? Darkman X? Why you don't like him, Grant?
Because I feel like he's one of these rappers, kind of like Eminem, who was like spitting bars, but like couldn't really like write a whole song with a hook. And some of his hooks were kind of weak. And the whole barking ad lib like did really give me a headache. Like I feel like if you had him and Jadakiss side by side, they were kind of in the same lane, but I just preferred Jadakiss. Like if you had given all of DMX's great production to Jadakiss, I would have preferred to live in that world, but it didn't happen that way, and I accept that. It's okay.
DMX makes good workout music. His bark was weird. It's like a very high pitched bark. It was like
it's very weird.
It's like
it worked at the time,
but I do like DMX. Yeah.
Oh man,
like Ja Rule was very big at the same time as DMX, and Ja Rule was like the pop version of DMX. Like I can sing a hook, I can write a song. Like I'm not hard at all, but I sound like DMX.
Ja Rule is like
DMX.
What AI would spit out if you fed it DMX and Tupac songs. Ja Rule would have
pretty much. Ja Rule, man. Oh, good time. Bone is good, but best server ever. A lot of good music. Bone is good, but best ever. Bone. Dave Sims. I feel like G is like dude, Smoothie, Dre Dog. Smoothie, Dre Dog. Also known as Andre Nicotina. Jamie Alizaga says Mac Miller or Macklemore.
Mac Miller, and it's not close. Macklemore.
Vanilla Ice. The answer is Vanilla Ice. SF Bay Drummer says, shout out to RBL Posse too. My cousin, Mr. C. Another dude that Coach doesn't know. Tupac.
You listen to Sugar Free, bro. A washed up pimp. Like, get out of here. Talking to me about who
guys, I gotta go. Sorry, I forgot. I have a 9 o'clock.
Sorry about that.
Talk to you guys.
Sugar Free wasn't washed up in 1997. He was macking in 1997.
He was a free. You said it with a straight face too. Somebody Google Sugar Free and they could see what this guy.
Sugar Free made a song with Mac Dre and he was talking about snorting crystal meth. And I was like, what?
Was that my alphabet?
Yeah, A, B, C, P. Yeah.
Dude, Sugar Free. I'm the only one that like actually likes Sugar Free here. Sugar Free is one of my favorite rappers of all time.
I was just listening to him yesterday and I heard the line about him snorting crystal meth. And I'm like, what? Don't do that.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Don't do that.
Have you listened? Don't do that. Did I ever tell you the one piece of advice my brother gave me when I went to college?
What's up?
He was like, whatever you do, don't do meth.
Yes, like good advice. Good advice.
Okay, I've never come across meth. I wasn't planning on it. I was like, that's it. He's like, yeah, you'll be fine. Just don't do that because you can't really come back from that. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I never did meth. That's a little known fact about me. I've never done meth. Never plan on doing it either.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's inspirational. Well, that's our show. Send it right there, kids. Don't do meth. That's my one piece of advice to you.
Do not.
And thanks for watching. And we'll be back next week on whose channel? No, we won't be back because Jesse's leaving.
Jesse's gone for 2 weeks. He's going.
Yeah, Jesse's leaving the show.
Is it me next in 3 weeks? Is that how it works?
It is you.
I think so.
It's Grant. I mean, it's Grant, Ryan, then me, then Jess.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was an hour and 15 minutes. That was a lot.
That was amazing, man. Good show.
Great show. See you guys.
Stay off meth.